Part two begins with my asking James about where he's at now in his own mind in terms of the forward-facing exhaust and what we can expect from the team in the upcoming races and in terms of development for the rest of this year. Part two of James.
So James, I guess the big billion-dollar question, probably more than a million, is the general concept of the car and how that relates to the season we've seen so far, and indeed your thoughts on the rest of the year and how much development there is in that car, and indeed whether you have got an advantage, the advantage that your creativity and your risk factor possibly deserves.
Well, so forward exhausts, there's two basic styles of exhaust on the grid. One which is a variant of what Red Bull are running, where the exhaust energy is fed into the footstep area of the floor, just to the side of the tyre, to the inboard tyre wall. And then there's our method where we inject the exhaust energy into the front of the floor. They're both trying to do the same thing, which is to extract downforce out of the really quite large amounts of available energy that are in that high velocity, high energy exhaust flow. They don't end up having the same effect on the floor. It's not like wherever you blow it, the floor just gets better, and it gets better in the same way, irrespective of where you blow it. It's very fussy as to how much it will deliver and in what manner. The idea of the rearward blower is that the exhaust spills over the sharp edge of the floor between the tyre and the floor, and it curls underneath the floor and generates a very intense, tightly spiraled vortex underneath the edge of the floor. That generates a very intense low pressure area on the back of the car and generates downforce at the back of the car as the exhaust flow goes up. The forward blower, same sort of deal. You're still pushing high energy air out of the exhaust to the floor, but we blow instead onto the curved leading edge of the floor, which is like the leading edge of an aircraft wing but upside down. And we have, again, we create a spiraling vortex as the air leaves the exhaust, and we impinge that exhaust vortex onto this curved leading edge of the floor, and we create an intense low pressure area in a region which is near the leading edge of the floor. So we generate a very locally high amount of downforce towards the leading edge of the floor. The rearward blowers generate it right towards the back of the floor. It's anyone's guess as to who generates the most downforce. When we made our decision, our forward blowing floor generated more downforce than the best of our rearward blowing floors, because we examined many options before we chose this direction. The key benefit that we could see from forward blowing compared with rearward blowing was that as the downforce comes and goes on a forward blower, then you are losing and gaining downforce right near the floor leading edge. The floor leading edge is not very far physically from the natural aerodynamic center of the car, which is what the drivers are trying to tune when they're changing their front flap angles. So there is a point where you want to place the balance of the front downforce to the rear downforce so that the car goes around the corners nicely and doesn't have too much understeer or oversteer.